I was a kid, my parents were fans of film, and they were both artists. My mom was an actress, and my dad, a musical performer. So that didn't seem alien to me, you know, that you could pursue the arts. So I went to a film with them, which was 2001 Space Odyssey. There was a screening. And I remember being a kid, probably way too young to be in that movie, and looked at the faces of everyone walking in, and they're all happy and jovial and probably intoxicated. And then when they left at the intermission, everyone had changed. And I saw something that I hadn't seen anywhere else. I hadn't seen it in church. I hadn't seen it at a live music event. And I'm 5, maybe 6 years old. And it really shocked me. It was something incredibly powerful that had changed. All of these grown-ups, these adults, had changed because of sitting in a room watching a screen. They had become confused, obviously, by the film. So I thought, well, this is really something more powerful than I've ever seen, and it's the arts. It's the most complicated art form in the world, film, because there's so many people that have to work together to conspire to create film. So for me, it was sort of something I just was born doing. I was shooting Super 8 movies when I was a kid and putting on screenings on weekends, you know, for my friends. Usually we'd, you know, burn toy model ships and and then make it look like a war battle or something, you know, a naval battle. Or we'd film commercials off of television and then re-edit them so that the product didn't work or it was funny. So that to me is something that I've always just done. I didn't ever think it could be a career, but it has been. You know, when I was starting out, if mentors had suggested to me that I go all in faster than later, in other words, you want to shoot your film, shoot it now. What's holding you back, right? Those are things that would have been precious to me at the time. Of course, with motion picture film, you know, every 10 minutes was $10,000. So it was a lot more expensive. But, you know, I met Martin Scorsese once when I was 20, 21, and he said, and I didn't have the nerve to tell him I was a filmmaker or a director. Only thing I could say to him was, I'm a writer. And he goes, oh, well, you really should be writing right now, because that's what writers do. You shouldn't be talking to me. You should be somewhere writing. So if that's the calling, if it's writing, I think that's another thing. You know, work, go do it, right? More important that you're creating, that you're writing, that you're shooting, that you're editing, that you're composing. All of those things are important for you to do, which is great about being in school, because you're doing that and you're getting those opportunities and you're broadening your horizons. You know. Zain, you possess a very special ingredient when it comes to creating film. I've seen this before in a few other filmmakers, and it's definitely a trait that I think will serve you well, and that's your persistence. Persistence of how you see it going down is pretty obvious to me, which is fantastic. It's something no one in the world could teach you. It's not something you could get out of a book. It's something inherent in you. It could be the way you were raised. It could be something that your family has given to you. It could be in your work ethic. There's something there, though, that transcends even work ethic, that goes really to the core. Like, I can see you being dedicated enough not to sleep for a month to try to get something right. And I've certainly seen that with you on set, where you've been able to focus on the detail, the minutia, the performances. So I feel like that really is going to set you apart from your peers. If you want it, you'll be able to create it, you know? Again, I go back to Rian Johnson. You know, his thing is he didn't know where to put a light on Star Wars. He's like, I don't know anything about lighting. I don't know anything about cameras. I just know what I like. In having that sense of taste has allowed him to be in the position he's in. So I think that's a real important element. Most great directors, filmmakers the great ones share that. Everyone's a client if you're not making your own movie. And then if you are making your own movie, the critics are the client and the audience is a client. So you're always working for someone, or otherwise you're just making home movies. And if you're doing that, in my case, your wife's a client, so change that shot. So you never get away from clients. That's my client calling.